Welcome to the Crystal Hive, a channel devoted to Keyforge, a unique card game by Fantasy Flight Games. I'm your host, Brian, the Keysmith of Colorado. Let's get started. So I'm playing Portoles, the Zealot of the Emptiness. Its houses are Logos, Shadows, and Untamed. It has a Wild Wormhole, a Bait and Switch, 3 Nocturnal Maneuvers, and a treasure map. So it has some tricks. It's not amazing. It's definitely one of my middle decks, my average decks. The majority of the deck is actions. The creatures it does have, though, most of them have Skirmish. So this deck is trying to help keep a clean board by fighting and knocking creatures out without taking damage in return. It does not have a lot of amber control, nor a lot of overwhelming board control. So it's a deck that you generally just want to try and reap as much as possible or gain amber however ways that your actions or creatures allow. Alright, so I'm logging into another game with Mark here. I'm going to be playing deck Portoles, the Zealot of the Emptiness. This deck basically focuses a lot on fighting, mainly by giving a lot of my creatures the Skirmish trait. So it does a lot of fighting without taking damage in return. This is actually an awesome starting hand. I'm in almost all house Untamed, and yeah, I think I'm just going to keep it. Looks like he's going Untamed as well. So I'm going to start with Lupo. Lupo on play, deal 2 damage to any creature. So that's going to get rid of his Hunting Witch, which I don't want him to ramp at all. And then I'm going to drop a Big Twig. I tend to just go toward the right flank out of habit. There's no real special preference to why I go that direction, just personal playstyle. But I do want Big Twig in the center, so both Lupo and Ancient are on flanks. That way some of the directed kill that specifies not on a flank can't target them. He's going Brobnar. Phoenix Heart's an interesting one. He really wants his War Drummer to die, because he wants to do 3 damage to each creature once the War Drummer is destroyed, or the person that has Phoenix Heart on them is destroyed. He also puts out a Mighty Javelin, so on any house turn he can sacrifice that to deal 4 damage to a creature. I don't like that at all, but I do like that I still have some Untamed stuff, so I'm going to stay in Untamed. I'm going to start with a Nocturnal Maneuver to exhaust both of his creatures to make his board state less than thrilling. I don't like his Troll, so I'm going to Reap with my Big Twig, which allows me to stun and exhaust a creature. So I'm going to do that on his Troll. And then I'm just going to Reap with both my other Untamed creatures. And I'll end it there. I'll keep a couple Untamed in my hand just in case. So I have Save the Pack. It's definitely a card that I don't personally prefer very well, but in this deck it actually works very well because a lot of my creatures have Skirmish anyway, so they're avoiding the damage return on an attack, so I can just attack people and put damage on them and then finish them off with Save the Pack. I don't like his Witch of Thy either, because he can, on Reap, pull a single card from his discard back to his hand. So he might grab Fogbank, he might grab Hunting Witch, I'm probably just going to get rid of her. Yeah, I'm going to Reap, which lets me stun and exhaust a creature. So I'm going to do that to the Witch of the Eye. And then I'm going to Reap with both my Ancient Bear and Lupo the Scarred. So that puts me on a key. I'm at check with 7 amber right now to his 3 amber. I have a much more solid board state than he does. He has 2 stunned creatures, one of them stunned and exhausted, and he only has 2 houses out. I only have 1 house out, but my board state currently has an advantage over him. He's going to play Remote Access. Doesn't do anything because I have no artifacts in play, but it does gain him a bonus amber. And then he follows with a Twin Bolt Emission to dump some damage on Big Twig and Ancient Bear. He's going to use the Mighty Javelin, to finish off my Big Twig, which is probably what I would have done, honestly. My Big Twig was controlling his board and reaping at the same time. So if he could get that off the board as fast as possible, that would be awesome. He most likely is probably going to play Logos here. Sorry about that. My cats were getting out of control. I had to get them out of the office here. Alright, so he's probably going to play Logos to make use of this Anomaly Exploiter to get rid of my Ancient Bear. If I claim Untamed again, I'm probably going to fall behind on tempo. Tempo is a huge thing in Keyforge. You need to either maintain pressure or be able to try and swing the favor of the game back in your favor. In order for me to do that, I have to get some more creatures on the board. So I'm going to play Logos now to play a Pocket Universe. This is just a cheeky way to protect some amber from my pool so he can't steal it. I'm then going to play a Quixo the Adventurer on the right flank and keep going with the right flank to put a Mother out. Quixo the Adventurer just plays into that Skirmish playstylist deck, and then Mother will let me draw up to 7 cards each round. I'm going to call it quits there. And now I'm starting to see the variety of my deck. I was stuck on Untamed for a while. Now I'm grabbing some Shadow stuff, as well as some Logos things. So at this point I feel okay. We're both on 1 key, so it's not like I'm blowing him out of the water or anything. I do feel my board state is much better though, because he had 2 creatures that were stunned. So he's playing Brobnar, so he removed the stun on Troll, played Sound the Horns. So Sound the Horns is an interesting card. It has a makeshift tutor effect. Tutor effects are essentially anything that allows you to draw for specific types of cards. So it allows him to just discard cards until he finds a Brobnar creature, in which he found Ganger Chieftain. So then he did a lot of stuff here really fast here. So he used Ganger Chieftain. You may ready and fight with a friendly creature. Let me pull it back up here. So he chose the Witch of the Eye to ready her, and then she attempts to fight, which is a subset of the use action. and since she was stunned, she instead removes her stun marker. So he's doing a lot of stuff to try and grab some board control again, and it's actually swinging in his favor pretty well. He's going to call it quits there. I think I want to stay with Untamed because I need to keep his board under control. So I'm going to say Untamed. I will use Lupo the Scarred to fight to get rid of the Ganger Chieftain. I'm then going to play my Hunting Witch. I will play Save the Pack to kill both his troll and my Lupo the Scarred, kills anything that was damaged. And I'm going to play a Nocturnal Maneuver to kneel down or exhaust his War Drummer. That way at least his War Drummer can't fight my Hunting Witch, so my Hunting Witch has some ability to stay on the board now. So he's going Untamed. He played Full Moon, which gives him an amber every time he plays a creature. Grasping Vines, so he returned my artifact to my hand, gained a bonus amber for it. So he's gaining a lot of bonus amber here. He said at the beginning this is one of his newer decks, so it looks like it has a pretty good amber production. I don't like where things are going in terms of this game right now, so I'm going to just play Shadows to use a bait and switch. This isn't going to be a huge play. It's just going to slow him down. So it brings us both to 4 amber. I still have my Hunting Witch out, so playing Dodger gains me my 5th. And then I'll play a Seeker Needle, and that's all I can do. Sometimes bait and switch, you want to save it for a huge swing in your turn. However, we're just playing casually. I'm not trying to dominate a tournament right now. I'm not trying to make the most optimal plays. I'm just playing bait and switch to slow him down because I know I can control his board if I'm allowed to set my board up. So he's in House Brobnar. He plays a Tremor to stun both my creatures. It can stun up to 3, but I only had 2. He plays out a Troll and a Fire Spitter. So it looks like his deck has 2 Trolls. Yeah, at least 2 Trolls. Okay. So I want to make the most use out of my Hunting Witch while I can. And if I were to just say House Shadows, I could only play 1. If I play House Logos, I can play both Quixo, and then through a phase shift allows me to play an out-of-house Logos card. I can play a Moon Cursor. So I can get 2 amber from the Hunting Witch. So I'm going to say House Logos. Put out my Pocket Universe again. Play a Quixo the Adventurer. Play a phase shift. I could play defensively here and still gain that extra amber. I don't know if that's what I want to do. I don't think so. I'm going to play the Moon Cursor and put it on the left flank here. And so that bumps me up to 7 amber. That's all I can do for the turn. I draw into some fun Shadows cards. I don't say they're overpowered. They're definitely just fun. Treasure Map. If you gain a bonus amber. So once you play Treasure Map, you cannot play any other cards. The action play means to take a card from your hand and put it in the appropriate play area, whether that's in the discard because it's an action, your battle line because it's a creature, etc. What it doesn't prevent you is from using creatures. So if I say House Shadows, I could play the Treasure Map, gain a bonus amber. If I have not played any other cards, I'd gain 3 extra amber, and I can still use any of the shadow cards that are on the board. The other fun card is Smiling Ruth. She's elusive, power 1, no armor, but her reap effect is if I forged a key this turn, take control of an enemy flank creature. She is definitely something, or she's definitely a creature I want to see turn 1, maybe turn 2. I want to see her before I start forging keys. Right now it's a little late in the game. I just forged my second key. I'm sitting on 1 amber. He is also sitting on forged territory. This deck doesn't have a lot of stealing. That's the problem with it. It just has to try and maintain tempo like I mentioned before. So I think I am actually just going to say House Shadows and try and get ahead of the damage curve here. He's definitely able to keep a board better than I am. So I'm going to say Shadows, play my treasure map. So I have not played any other cards before this, so I get the bonus amber and the 3. I can't play any other cards, so all I can do is use. I will use the Seeker Needle to put a damage on the Snufflegator. And I'm doing that in case I am able to get through my deck before the game ends, and I'm able to draw back into my Save the Pack. That would destroy anything that has damage. And I discarded Smiling Ruth because she is useless to me right now. She doesn't provide anything. She's really hard to keep on the board. And I really want her for that steal effect, which at this point is, if I were to forge another key, I'd already win the game because I'd be on my 3rd key. So he's on 2 keys, 1 amber. I'm on 2 keys, 5 amber. He definitely has a much stronger board presence. I have a couple cards in my hand, actually 4 cards in my hand that provide bonus amber. So I think my best play is going to probably just stay in Untamed and push my agenda. I think he has a pretty similar deck to mine in which he can't steal. So if I say Untamed and play Vigor, which I can heal up to 3 damage from a creature. If I have healed 3, then I gain an amber. He has a creature that has 4 damage on it, his Fire Spitter. So I will actually heal his Fire Spitter. There's a little prompt here in the Crucible. I will heal the full 3, which gains me 2 amber, the bonus amber and the extra amber from the play effect. I will play Scout for just the bonus amber. And then any card that says up to, this one says for the remainder of the turn, up to 2 friendly creatures gain Skirmish, then fight with those creatures 1 at a time. You can choose 0, even if you do have creatures on the board. Then I will play Nocturnal Maneuver to exhaust his Brobnar board, because it's the most present. And same thing with this, it says exhaust up to 3 creatures. So I chose the maximum of 3. And then upgrades, I must put on a creature. I can't just play it for the bonus amber. It has a play restriction that it must be attached to a creature. So I'm going to just put it on his War Drummer just to play it and get that bonus amber. And his War Drummer is exhausted, so it can't use it this turn anyway. So now I'm sitting on 10 amber, 2 keys, to his 2 keys and 4 amber. Unless he has a big steal, I think this will be game. He might have something. Yeah, he's playing a Wild Wormhole into a Phoenix Heart. Interdimensional Graft. So when I forge, it will be my 3rd key. But when I forge, I have to give him the remainder of my amber. So he definitely wanted that much earlier. He's got some archiving he's doing over here. Yeah, he just didn't have any steal. He wanted that graft earlier. It's one of my favorite Logos steal cards. It's really conditional. It's definitely a steal you want early. But I think that was a fun game. It was a quick game because we both had two very similar deck styles. We both just wanted to try and maintain board control and just rush to keys because neither of us had a ton of control. This video brought to you by the Crystal Hive. I'm Brian, the Keysmith of Colorado. If you like the content and wish to see more, click subscribe below. See you next time.